Hello again. This one, I've been meaning to talk for a while, but I I really need to be in the correct frame of mind. And it's been almost 2 years uh, since she passed, and I'm still struggling with this one because there's still so many questions going around in my head, and this how she decided to go. Because she decided we were we were in the hospital, and this rep for palliative care came in and was talking to her, and she said, you qualify for MAID, which is medical assistance in death or in dying. And we used to have this like massive moral and ethical qualms with it, because it was something that was very new. It can be seen as something very controversial. Politically, it was starting to be used as a tool to get votes, and then people who were depressed started qualifying for it. People who were alcoholics started qualifying for it. And she decided to take up the option, and I was shocked. I was like, oh, I felt like my teammate was switching teams, and I looked at her. I was like, almost shocked, like, why? Hold on, we're in this together, right? And she said, the last thing I want is to see your face as I'm trying to breathe, because we went to the hospital because she couldn't breathe very well because of all the stuff that was going on. And that was the first realization I had, that my role went up to a certain point, and there were things that I had no say over, even though I know we were soulmates. I know that, but and you think you're together the whole time, and everything you do is. But that was the first time that I was like, fuck, there's nothing I can do on this one. This is her choice, and truly, it was her choice. So that put me in my place, and so yeah, so she made a decision. She went through several interviews, because it's not it's not like the naysayers make it out to be. And again, I was a naysayer. Lydia was a naysayer. We didn't agree with it. But the position that she was in, the condition that she was in, it was truly a godsend. And again, it's not like you choose the option, like you're selecting a tip at Starbucks when you get a coffee and you get it. No, it's actually quite stringent interview process, of which I was not allowed to be part of. So this was truly her decision. And yeah, so I saw the value of it, and I was able to erase all the misconceptions and all the negativity I had towards that program. And again, there are still things that I think are situations that I don't think are right for it. But in our case, in her case, it was a blessing. It really was. So I won't get into the specifics. I will not talk about the day, because I can say without equivocation, the most private moment of my life. You can imagine. So I won't talk about that. But I want to convey the magnitude of that day, because I look back at the day and the preparation and the anticipation and the lead up to the moment. If I was to live through it again, I'm not going to say that I would do anything differently, or everything I would do differently. I would do a couple of things different, and I will talk about that without getting into the privacy of it. But there's so much happening, and you still have that, I call it the miracle percentage. You still have that miracle percentage. At the beginning of a diagnosis, the miracle percentage is huge. And as you go through the treatments and you go through the diet change and all that, that miracle percentage starts to get reduced. But it's still there. It's still there up until that moment, the very moment. It's literally up until like 11:59 seconds. It's there. So at least for me, that miracle percentage is limiting me from seeing what's about to happen. And the miracle percentage was keeping me from saying certain things. And now I look back and I would have said this. I would have said that. And literally, I can tell you from experience, at least in my case, there is very little you can say at that moment. And I thought I was prepared, because it's not something that you arrange and it happens the next day. No, there's a stretch of time. You actually have a 3-month window. And the day off, I just this is as private as I'm gonna get. I helped her get dressed and brought her down and helped her get into the bed. And then when I helped her we didn't say anything. I didn't talk to her. We just looked at each other, almost like she was going on a trip. And the only thing that keeps me from spiraling into uncontrollable sadness and depression is that she did go on a trip. And I will eventually catch up with her at her destination. But the thing that keeps me from really losing my mind is I still don't know what to say. I still don't know what to tell her, what I will have told her. What am I going to say? What do you think it's going to be like? Or, look, I can't even come up with things now, and this happened 2 years ago almost. But there is that thing in the back of my head that, what I would have done differently. And I'm always going back to that. And it's this cyclic redundancy that keeps on spinning in my head. What would I have done differently? What would I have done what would I have said? And I'm not editing this, so sorry, I just kicked the tripod. I felt like talking today, so you get what you get. So sorry, I kicked the tripod, and I'm fidgety all the time. I'm always moving. So yeah, I didn't know. I still don't know what to say. I still don't. And and in part is because there is almost nothing that prepares you for watching somebody go away, expire. There's nothing more unnatural that there's nothing in our society that prepares you for that. If we lived in a war-torn country where we see tragedy all the time, I think that's a different story. I think that you would treat life in a different way. But we live in a very cushioned, very insulative reality that other cultures don't have. We're very sheltered, physically, emotionally, and there are things that we're just not prepared for. And watching somebody die is as peaceful as it was. It's still a mindfuck. So if anybody is know somebody, a loved one that has chosen that way to go, or is somebody that is terminally ill, just think of what you want the other person to hear from you. Think of what you would like to remember, and hopefully the moments leading up to that were guided by your instincts and not by outside pressures. Because I was very fortunate to have listened to my instincts when it was apparent that she wasn't going to come out of it. I will do another video about that some other day. But yeah, again, I thought I was going to be more eloquent in this one, and I'm still having issues with it. But yeah, all I can say is, if you know somebody, a loved one, who is, or somebody you regard highly in your life, and you know that they're terminally ill or they have chosen to go that way, think of what you would like to say to that person that is both beneficial for them and for you. Because there are still a couple of things that are bouncing around in my head, and the only thing that makes me feel better is that I feel her around. I feel she's watching, and that helps. And that's how I'm handling it. In closing, I listened to this automotive related podcast. It's called Chris Harris, and the car podcast with Chris Harris and his friends is really good. I'm a car guy. I like it. But they end every podcast with a choice of music, like a song. And today, driving back home, this song came into my list from my favorite group, Elbow. And the song is called Kindling. And one of the lines is, I will be far away for a while, but my heart is staying put, guiding, guarding, and warming the one that I love. And that makes me feel good. I used to listen to that song, and I used to think that would be me watching over her and guarding her. And today I realize she's the one that is going to be, that it's far away for a while, and that she's the one watching over me and guiding and warming me. And that makes me feel good. Don't discount that thought. I mean, there are religious beliefs and stuff, but don't, if you're open-minded, welcome that thought into your mind, that they are watching you, they're helping you, and park your ego aside and realize that they're probably helping you. They're probably moving the pieces in your favor, and that's a good thing. Anyway, this one is choppy. I'm sorry, but I don't like to edit these. I know eventually I'm gonna have to start editing, because I see some videos that are amazing with just a little bit of editing. So this is it for now. Sorry, I kicked the tripod. And yeah, and if this helped one person, I'm happy. That's what I'm doing this for. So thank you for listening to my ramble.